Germany's government just collapsed. France is in chaos. The Netherlands can't form a coalition. What if I told you, this isn't a coincidence? It's a continent-wide shift. In this video, we're breaking down Europe's unprecedented political crisis, not just in one country, but across the entire continent. We'll examine why traditional centrist parties are collapsing, what forces are replacing them, and what this means for Europe's future and global stability. You'll walk away understanding the structural reasons behind this shift, backed by data, expert analysis, and real-world examples from across the EU. We will focus on 4 pillars: economic stagnation, migration and identity, trust deficits, and institutional gridlock. We keep it neutral, fact-based, and comparative across countries. Let's dive in. Section 1. In Germany, the coalition led by Chancellor Olaf Scholz collapsed in November 2024 after bruising disputes over economic policy, triggering snap elections for February 2025. Scholz then lost a confidence vote, sealing one of modern Germany's most significant ruptures. In France, President Emmanuel Macron's centrist coalition lost its majority in 2022 and has governed in a fragile state ever since. By late 2024 into 2025, approval ratings fell below the low 30s, underscoring sustained discontent. In the Netherlands, after the 2023 vote, talks dragged for months. A coalition led by Geert Wilders marked a historic shift, but fragmentation persisted. Coalition arithmetic remained brittle, with governing stability constantly in question. Even Belgium's earlier 589-day government vacuum became a symbol of systemic stalemate and centrist erosion. These aren't isolated incidents. They signal a continent-wide transformation. Europe's economy has underperformed for years, with the Eurozone averaging modest growth since 2010. Slower growth means tighter budgets and limited fiscal room to cushion shocks. Wages have stagnated as housing costs soared, squeezing working and middle-class households. Youth unemployment remains elevated in parts of southern Europe, breeding frustration with the status quo. Centrist recipes, fiscal restraint, and market reforms promised broad prosperity that many never felt. Migration remains divisive. The 2015 crisis brought over 1 million arrivals, reshaping politics for a decade. Integration and services strained in some areas, while others adapted, creating uneven perceptions. Far-right movements framed migration as existential. The left accused centrists of abandoning humanitarian values. Caught in the middle, centrists were attacked from both sides and struggled to craft credible, cohesive policy. Trust in national governments has fallen to historic lows across many EU states. Centrist leaders are often tagged as technocrats, seen as distant managers rather than responsive representatives. That perception fuels left and right movements promising to listen to the people and upend old norms. Social media accelerates mistrust, rewarding outrage over negotiation. Multi-party fragmentation complicates coalition math. More parties, fewer stable majorities. In France, rising polls on left and right squeeze the center, producing hung parliaments and legislative paralysis. On the right, parties emphasizing sovereignty and border control surged, like Italy's current leadership emerging from a nationalist platform. In Germany, AfD polling hit record highs in late 2024, reshaping debates even outside government. In Sweden, the Sweden Democrats became the second largest party, influencing policy from the right. Some of these parties moderated their tone to gain acceptance, while keeping hard lines on migration and EU skepticism. On the left, movements mobilized youth around climate, housing, and redistribution, pressuring the center. Anti-austerity platforms in Spain and Germany challenged the neoliberal consensus that dominated for 30 years. EU unity strains when nationalist parties gained power. Recent years saw open clashes with Brussels over rule of law and democratic norms. If core economies pivot toward Euroscepticism, even foundational integration could face existential questions. Fragmentation weakens Europe abroad, complicating unified responses to Russia's war in Ukraine. On China, member states split between engagement and de-risking, blurring strategic signals. A politically unstable Europe struggles to project power or coordinate with allies effectively. Some parties on both extremes toy with illiberal moves, pressuring media, courts, or minority rights. It's not inevitable, but the risk rises when anti-establishment rhetoric trumps norms. Institutions endure until they don't. Here's the hard truth. The center won't return unless it addresses why it collapsed. That means economic reform delivering tangible gains to working and middle-class families. Honest conversations on migration, integration, and identity. Neither denial nor demagoguery. Reconnecting with voters through genuine engagement, not technocratic jargon. Attempts exist, from radical moderation to pragmatic social policy, but results are mixed so far. 1. The centrist collapse is structural, driven by economics, migration debates, trust deficits, and gridlock. 2. Populists fill the void. 3. EU cohesion and democracy face risk. 4. Global stability is affected. 5. Only real policy fixes can restore the center. Europe is at a crossroads. The old order is crumbling, and what replaces it will shape the global system. If you found this valuable, like and subscribe for more in-depth geopolitical analysis. Do you think centrist parties can recover, or is this collapse permanent? Thanks for watching.